from the ground up. 28. It's the big homie. You know what it is. Hood economics. Anyway, when I left off last time, I believe I was talking about the beginning of the end. I talked a little bit about the football game we had with the Donna Streets. Um, Remember when I told you that we went to PT pubs and we was deep and we was tripping up there, and we went back to the Gershon, and it was a long time before we kicked it. I talked about that on one of my last ones. Well, later on that night, this is when I mean when things start to become unraveled, or things we didn't want to believe or thought would ever happen would happen. Well, later on that night, because when we was in the Gershon, we was in Haney Circle, and like I said, it was about 100 of us. But we ended up getting, full of package, drunk, whatever. I ended up getting in the car with Randog and Dragos. Randog had just got this photo, like light blue 9/8 Cadillac or whatever it was. But I was in there with them, so Randog dropped me and Dragos off in the big carry orange. Matter of fact, right in the same square where Brad stayed. Dragos had a girl that stayed right upstairs on the opposite side, on like the right hand side. If he was facing Bread door, he had a girl that stayed on the opposite side upstairs. So we ended up going up over there, right? Now Drago's drunk as I don't know what. He's drunk, and when we go up there, the girl said, "You okay, Andre?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we just was at PT Pubs. We sat down. She had this like optical looking glass table. So I'm sitting, at the table. Drago sitting back, and Drago's looked like he could barely keep his eyes open. He just sitting there smiling, right? And she's like, "Andre, is you okay?" And he was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "See, this what I don't like when he get to drinking, because when he get to drinking, he be tripping." I say, "He alright, you know what I mean? He ain't know nothing, you know what I'm saying?" I didn't know that they had previous conflicts or whatever. Much love to the homie Dragos, rest in peace. But I guess when she started talking to me about whatever they've been going through, he got mad. And all of a sudden, Draco just kicked the table, and it was a glass table. So when he kicked the table, the whole table went up and just shattered everywhere. I'm like, Psh, what the fuck, nigga? What? So she was like, Andre, get out. You got to go. And then he just sat there in the chair like he didn't do nothing. He just kept that smile on his face. But he just kicked the whole table over, right? So she didn't open the door up. It's glass everywhere. I didn't stood up. I'm like, homie, let's go, man. You know what I mean? Let's get up out of here. He don't want to move. So when I go outside, my homie Terrell Jackson, he was pulling up. I don't know why Terrell was over there, but he was pulling in. And he was like, "What's that noise up there, cuz?" I'm like, "Ghost up here tripping, man." And he was like, "What's going on?" So Terrell started coming up the stairs and shit. And we went back to the dope. And when he seen me and Terrell standing at the dope, Ghost looked at me and Terrell and say, "What? Y'all wanna fuck my bitch?" We like, "Nigga, what you talking about?" He like, "Y'all wanna fuck?" I'm like, "Dude, you tripping." So he get up and stuff. The girl was like, Andre, he pushed her hella hard, like, "Get out of my way," you know what I'm saying? So he tripping with us now, man. So we like, "Ghost, man, you need to come on, man. Let's get up out of here, man." She gonna call the police, homie. So we trying to get him to go home. He just stay around the corner. You know what I mean? So we trying to pull him downstairs. He telling me and Terrell, "Yeah, I wanna F my," you know what I mean? So he trying to, lightweight swing on us. So he was like, "Man, I ain't finna be tripping with Ghost, man. I'm a bounce, man." I'm like, "Man, don't leave my head like that." At this time, Bread, he had caught a violation, but they let him back out, and he had got a job cooking. So Bread was a chef at one of them hotels out there doing some type of cooking, and he was just getting off work. And he still had on his culinary clothes when he came home, when this was going on, right? So he see Drago's tripping, so Bread come over there. And Brad like, "What's going on, Ghost Monster?" He called him Ghost Monster. So he seen that he was intoxicated. So and he was like, "Man, what the fuck wrong with him?" I'm like, "Man, he drunk, man. He can kick that girl table over up there. He talking about me and this dude here trying to F his bitch. You know what I'm saying?" I'm like, "Man, this dude tripping." So Ghost was like, "Nigga, you tripping?" I'm like, "Man, look, see what I'm saying?" He was like, Ghost, chill out, man. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "No, that nigga tripping." I'm like, "Man, go on." So Ghost walked up on me and fired on me, man. Boom, got off on me. Of course, I fired him, bam, and he take two. He kind of drunk, so I kind of rocked him back, right? So We get the scrapping out there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to fight the big homie. You know what I'm saying? He drunk. He ain't himself. But me and Dre goes, we scrapping because he hit me a little bit too. He put too much hot sauce on that. He hit me hard in the motherfucker. So we start scrapping out there. You know what I mean? So Brad break it up. You know what I mean? I'm not really trying to fight the homie. So I'm like, man, I relax. Like, dude, go on, man. And when I did that, he hit me like in my solar plexus, and he knocked all the air out of me, man. I couldn't breathe for like 15 seconds. I was just caught like, and when I caught my breath, I said, "I'ma kill your mother," and I took off running toward home, cause he hit me too. He knocked the air out of me. I couldn't breathe, man, and I couldn't fight no more. He knocked the fight, but I went to go get my thing, and I came back on the bike, and Dragos was still out there tripping. And when I come back, I run right into him, and he was like, "Nigga, you must want some more." So I get off the bike. I'm still mad at him in my stomach. So when I get off the bike, I pull my pistol out and I pointed at him. He was like, "Nigga, don't play with me. Don't play with me." And I started shooting at his feet because I don't want to shoot my homeboy. So I started shooting at his feet. You know what I'm saying? Blowing at his feet. Bloom, bloom. Brad come out the house. Who the fuck shooting that gun? Hey, sheepdog, give me that motherfucking pistol. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna kill this nigga. This nigga hit me in my motherfucking solar place. So I blow him his feet again. Bloom. And when I blew that gun again, he's like, hey, man, get the fuck away from my house with that motherfucking gun, sheepdog. Right? So Dracos was like, no, this nigga didn't play with me. And he ran and went home, right? So Brad tripping with me, and the whole time Brad tripping with me, Ghosting when it got hard tackle his brother. And while me and Brad going back and forth, they blow on me and Brad. Bloom, bloom. I take off running through the field. Brad just stepped, in. So they at me. Bloom, 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 bloom. They chased me down there all the way to Kippy house, blowing on me. Bloom, 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 bloom. They gave it to me good. And when they started running back, I was back on them. Bloom, 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 bloom. I shot out people windows and everything. And that was on the news. We had that on the news because the next day, Dirty Rob came over my house and knock on the door. I'm thinking it's the police. I'm ready to run out the back door. So my Auntie Angie opened the door. It's Dirty eating a raw ass hot dog. Where the dog at? I come to the door. What's up with you and Drago getting in the shootout last night? I say, man, that dude got drunk and was tripping and woo woo woo, man, you know what I mean? All the homies heard about it. I got checked by 5 homies. Boonchi, everybody checked me about that. But Ghost, the one that was drunk and was tripping. But that's what I mean by things start to unravel. Because homies didn't do that. We wasn't busting on each other like that. You know what I mean? And as time went on, like I said, I can go day for day about what I did and been through. But it at some point, it's going to become a run on. I'm going to come back to when I was in Tennessee, Shelby Training Center, and stuff like that, because I ended up getting certified as an adult when I was 15, and I ended up spending almost a year in the county, and for a gun charge. But what happened was, I got certified, I got out, and I got caught with a pistol. I got shirmed out with a dude. I don't even want to mention his name, but I got shirmed out with Mudfoot, and we was in the G's, and I had this coat, this white coat. It said "Straight from Gerson Park" on the back of it. And I remember I was down there by Web Dog them house in Haney Circle, and I let Freak Dog wear it for a minute because he was cold. But me and Mudfoot, we was together, and I had this chrome 38, and I told Freak Dog, I'm finna go. I ain't had no shells, I ain't had no bullets, and I was trying to find some. So when I left, we ended up over there by Bubba Jackson. Now mind you, we wet. We just left Freak Dog. He had one, so I don't know where the hell I'm at or what I'm doing. We just walking. I'm walking with this. I don't even like this. You know what? I'm not gonna even go there. I'm gonna just shut up. But anyway, we mobbing, right? We end up over there by what Ski Dog them is and Bubba Jack. So I don't know what made me do this. This when I say things start to unravel. I don't know what made me do this, but I walked right up on Ski Dog, and he'll tell you. I pulled a gun out and I put it in his face. Now I know I ain't had no bullets because I was looking for him, but at that time I was wet. I didn't care. I pulled a gun out and I put it in his face and I just started clicking it, click 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 click, in my homeboy face. And he like, nigga, you tripping? And he pushed me. He said, that's how fools died, nigga. And so everybody was out there tripping and all that. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, I got tackled from behind, hella hard. Boom. And I'm thinking it's one of my homeboys because what I just did, it was the motherfucking police. Metro. Hit boom. And I'm like, why ain't nobody say nothing? And if they did, I was incoherent. I probably wouldn't have understood. But that was the gun charge that got me certified, right? Now, things start to, like, really take a turn for the worse, And I mean, people. I ain't mentioned people like Shoelace, Earl Cage brother, and females like Fofo. I didn't mention people like Sean B, Boca Nut. You know what I mean? Dirty Rock from the hood. See, I'm gonna come back to that because they all play a part of my life, but it's later on down the line, especially Dirty Rock. Dirty Rock, that's my ace. You know what I'm saying? Blood, whatever. That's my ace right there. Me and him and Lil Bread used to hang out together. So Dirty Rock from the hood, that's like a brother to me, a big brother to me. He always was. When I was kicking him when I was 13, and I salute that brother for changing his life. We need more like him to step up and get his history out, man. You know what I'm saying? So people can't distort it. But anyway, Lucky, he ended up dying. It was a bunch of things that ended up happening, man, and it was just somber. And that Sherm, I can't stress that enough. That Sherm, it had me and everybody else whacked out, man. The ones that, partaked in that, and then powder started making, its way here. Powder, and the old heads was messing with, heroin and all that, doing whatever, but that powder, it started to show its face. But Sherm, really, really did a lot of hoods in, man, and a lot of people never came up out of that, man. You know what I mean? And what ended up happening is I ended up going to Memphis, Tennessee. I get out, Bread is with the American program and Jim Brown. This when he had that them apartments or pyramid apartments down there by Lake Mead, and he had that white Astro van. Everybody remember that. And I was with him with this when Lil Gus moved out of Cary Arms and moved on 40 block. When he first moved over there, me and Bread came up over there, and I remember me, Bread, Lil Gus, Bib, all us went fishing at Lake Mead. And I got too full of my package. I was fresh. I threw up everywhere out there, but we went fishing. You know what I'm saying? But things started to change. It was like everybody was slowed down. Everything wasn't so intense. Donna wasn't like Donna was, Instead of them being so wild and all over the place, they was slow too. Curls whacked out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just was toe up. That Sherm was doing us bad. And then, I'm gonna come back and go over stories and events about Vegas because my life is Vegas history, but I'm focusing on me. But I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna go over other incidents. Trust me, I'm gonna touch all bases. But I found myself when my auntie moved out to Gerson, living with my auntie in the Brownies. Now, see, this was when things is starting to turn really bad. The Truce, that Rodney King incident happened. I'm gonna go to that, and everybody decided, like in California, to come together. And how exactly they did that is you got so many versions. But what I heard, John came into Gerson with a red rag on his head and was like, letting everybody know, man, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Let's tie this motherfucker up. You know what I'm saying? And it's a bunch of different versions of how everybody came together. But everybody came together. All the hoods came together, just like in Cali. And they started raiding the stove, Super 6, you know what I'm saying? I think they spared Mac Mills, but they were just tearing up stuff everywhere. Big 8, and that's messed up because it was a little kid that got trapped up in Big 8. Y'all remember that? That little kid that when they looted Big 8, that little kid got trapped up in there, man, and got burnt up in that store, man. That was sad, you know. And people was stripping with the police, blowing on the police. You know, they was busting back with bing bag guns. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was partying in each other's neighborhood. Tanya Washington was knocking out somebody every other day. That's all you heard was Tanya Washington knocked out Monster off and down. Tanya Washington did this here, the pipe. That's all you heard was, and everybody was just partying. But me, being the little beady-eyed, evil person I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't feeling it. No truce, no nothing. I wasn't feeling it. I still had built up animosity in me. And when I go over things and situations, you go see why. But I just wasn't feeling the truth. And I let that be known, especially when Bread went to the coast and they surrounded Bread behind, incident between him and Kenny Foster when he took Kenny Foster rims and made Kenny Foster jump up out that car and took his rims. And they was still tripping about that. And Bread went up over and was in the coast. They surrounded Bread and he was like, "What, we banging again?" But I just knew it wasn't right, you know what I'm saying? And I know something was bound to happen anyway. And I wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't, man. I wasn't used to ABMs and, NTGs and certain bloods just laying in the G's and just laying across the grass like it wasn't nothing. I wasn't used to that. And, I was the one that, always was frowned up with his arms crossed in the back. I don't want to shake no hands or nothing. You know what I mean? But I ended up going to jail. I got back out, but when I went to jail, I made a vow. And everybody that know me, that I talked to, because that's where I met Eugene Weems, Boo, the infamous Eugene Weems, Boo. And I'm going to talk about him later on down my line too, because everybody all played a part of my life. But I made a vow that I was going to bust that Truce up. That when I got out and they were still, trucing. So when the opportunity presented itself, and it did, I broke the truce. And when I come back, finally, we get to the chapter of my life where everything changed for the worse. Y'all tune in from the ground up. 29. It's on its way. And let me say this before I go. It's not about subscribers. It's not about likes. It's not about none of that with me. It's about bringing exposure to something that needs more exposure of. And the exposure that I'm trying to give it to is to us. I don't care about people that's not from our community, that's on the outside looking in. This is us looking in the mirror. And when I finish, you're going to see what I mean by it. Because we the ones that got to fix this problem that's persistent and that's continuing in our community. It's a continuation of aching in our community. And we can't allow or expect people that don't understand our hurt to be able to patch us up all the time. This is an internal problem, meaning that we all have to do some form of introspection, which is looking within ourselves and asking ourselves a question. When we go accept the fact that we are our own worst enemies. As you just heard, I broke the truce. Bunch of black people decided to get along with each other for once, and another black didn't like that. Not a white, but another black didn't like that, me. So that gives credence to that term that we are our own worst enemies. And when I come back, you'll see why. From the ground up, 29 on his way. Till then.